One day I will know peace, but it will not be after I read the queer retelling of Pride and Prejudice and the first part of a duology whose second book isn't coming out for another 6 months. And I read them both in 24 hours. On one hand, I want a book that'll make me feel the way this book made me feel, and I don't know where to look for that. On the other hand, I just want to know what the fuck happens.
Happy 10-year anniversary to the movie that was named after the character that got only 8 minutes of screen time and 13 lines and still stole the show. Bucky Barnes, you are constantly underappreciated by everyone over at Marvel, but fans are obsessed with you. I would die for you.
You know, of all the places in Canada that Deadpool could have been from, it is both absolutely hysterical and totally in character for it to have been fucking Saskatchewan. The most unrealistic thing about that is the fact that he's not still there. Though actually, you know what, now that I'm considering it, it does make sense that he left considering the nature of his job. He would not have been able to get away with that shit because everyone in Saskatchewan somehow knows each other. If he did that job in Saskatchewan, they would have figured him out in like a week, because that would probably have been the most interesting thing to happen there. Peace and love, my stepdad is from Saskatchewan.
Autism and high empathy is so fun, because, like, what the fuck do you mean? I cannot watch the ending of Captain America Civil War, or Avengers Endgame, or the Supernatural finale, because it pisses me off and makes me cry way too hard. I am not exaggerating when I say that when I watch them, I literally cry myself sick. And so now I simply cannot watch them anymore. Like, even before I got super hyper fixated on Stucky for that period of time, watching Endgame and Civil War, like, physically took me out. It hurts me so bad to watch it. Like, I'm not talking just emotionally, like, it was so bad that I, like, felt it physically. And tell me why, like, I literally have to shut my brain off when I watch Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Because, like, if I think too hard and, like, let myself process all of the things happening with Bucky and all of the subtle, like, acting choices and, like, subtext in the scenes with Bucky, like, it physically hurts me. Like, I have to watch Sebastian Stan play the Winter Soldier in small doses because every, like, micro expression he has just conveys so much emotion, and it's like a little stab to the gut every time. Why? Like, hey, yeah, if someone cries around me, then I'm probably gonna start crying. That's okay. That's a little bit of a weird thing, but to have to literally shut my brain off during the scene when they wipe Bucky in the Winter Soldier movie, or else I start, like, having a panic attack myself. Why? That's fucking insane. And I have not attempted to watch the ending of Endgame since I got hyperfixated on Stucky, because every single time that I've watched it in the past, I have genuinely cried so hard that I have felt unwell for the rest of the night. Like, I have to nap after watching that movie because it hurts me too bad. And I just know, after, like, everything I've learned about Steve and Bucky as characters and the comics and so much, I just, like, could not get through watching that entire movie, and the ending especially, without something going awry. Like, I genuinely don't know how I would react. I know that I would sob uncontrollably, but, like, I feel like I would end up running around and shouting or something, like, insane like that, because of how, like, it upsets me to think about, let alone to actually witness, for so many reasons. And with Civil War, with the ending the end fight, at least between them, it's so, like, everything happening, it's, like, so conflicting, because there's so many layers and nuance to why this fight is happening. And it's just this moment where I just feel empathy for every single character involved, because they all have different reasons for being in this situation. And it's so hard to sit there and think, like, Bucky really is just standing in this facility full of every other Winter Soldier who was just fucking murdered by fucking Baron Zemo. And now Tony is trying to kill him because of something he did as the Winter Soldier, and he's only just, like, started to get his memories back, and still fully blames himself for everything that happened. Tony just had to watch this man kill his parents after thinking for how many years was it at this point? Like, 20? That his parents died in a car accident, that it was his dad's fault. And also feeling betrayed because Cap knew and kept it from him. And meanwhile, Cap is trying to protect his best friend after losing him, like, 3 times at this point? 4? A lot. And all the while he's fighting someone who he was kind of friends with, which, like, that's the part of the scene that, like, it upsets me, because you see him and you see the scene, like, he's my friend, so was I. That's a scene that should have hit harder than it did, but they didn't take the time to work up to that. Had they taken the time to work up to them being, like, good friends and this being, like, a major betrayal, that would have been a harder hit. But they didn't do that because for some fucking reason they just the movie that was supposed to happen between Civil War and Age of Ultron, they just were like, nah, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, Tony's just, like, in a blind rage and trying to kill Bucky. And Cap's trying really hard to just protect Bucky and not hurt Tony. And Cap has to figure out, like, how to fix this and how to protect Bucky with doing the least amount of harm that he can possibly do, because really Tony's kind of, like, it is understandable that he is as angry as he is, but at the same time he's trying to kill Bucky, and Steve has just spent so much time and energy trying to find and get Bucky back. He ended up to do this after thinking he lost him so many times. He's not about to let him die. But in the same vein, Tony didn't deserve to die to save Bucky. So in the end, destroying his suit was the most he could do to protect Bucky, but unfortunately that did cause harm to Tony more than I'm sure he wanted to. So it's just a fight scene with so much going on in it, and so many emotions that I just can't watch it. Yeah, that's my rant about high empathy and consuming any media. What the fuck is my problem? Apparently I've read and finished 182 fanfictions this year, and that puts me at over 5 million words of fanfiction that I've read this year alone. And this is not counting the amount of ones that I've started and haven't finished yet, which there are a lot of. And the reason that I don't count those is because I'd have to figure out how long they are, like, and how many words I've read so far of them, and I don't care enough to check that. But yeah. It is the 4th month of the year. We're a quarter of the way through the year, and I've read almost 200 fanfictions. How many of those are Stucky? Some of you may be asking. I don't know. I can tell you the first 121 of them were Stucky, but then I shifted my focus and started reading some supernatural and miraculous ones. So fix 122 to 148 were not Stucky. Looks like 149
to 182 were also stucky. I don't want to do that math, but yeah. Wait, that's a lie. Hang on. I'm looking at more closely. So 122 was a supernatural fic, but 123 was a stucky one. And then 124 to 148 were either supernatural or miraculous. So that's like 25. I'm not good at math, though, so that could be wrong. So yeah, of the 182 fanfictions, only about 25 of them weren't stucky. I haven't updated the tag spreadsheet yet, so I don't know what kind of fics I've read the most of, other than most of them were stucky. And this adds on to the 300 that I read last year between the months of September to December. I need fucking rehab. This is insane. I think one thing that they missed out on exploring in the Captain America movies, at least, I don't know if they ever explored it in the comics. If they did, please tell me which ones. Is Steve adjusting from being a 90-pound asthmatic to Captain America? Because speaking as someone who's 5 feet tall and 115 pounds, there's a lot of things that I have to put every bit of my energy into that someone 6 foot tall and 200 pounds would have no problem doing. One crazy embarrassing thing is I can't fucking lift a tire. My brother had to rescue me twice when I was 17. Was I 17? Yeah, I was 17. Yeah. When I, had, because I destroyed 2 tires in 1 month. It's long story. The second time it happened, he's like, okay, can you do this? And I tried. But I kind of got stuck at step 1 because I couldn't pick up that fucking tire. I have since figured out how to maneuver a tire, because I later at when I was I 18? No, I was 19. This was a couple months ago. I had to change my summer tires to my winter tires, so my stepdad helped me. So he was like, "You're gonna do this because I'm showing you how to do this," and I was like, "Girl, I'm not strong." That was not a viable excuse. So I figured it out. It's not easy, but I figured it out. But anyway, having that major shift in your physical ability, there are certain things it's you would have to learn how to hold back in certain situations. And this is something that is explored in fanfic, but I just I feel isn't explored enough. And one little observation made is the way that he in the movie he starts running and then kind of is off balance when he's running, but that's such a subtle thing that you have to look really closely for. But I don't know, I just wish there were scenes of him post serum where it was just him doing shit and then having to learn to use way less energy than he initially had to in the past, you know? I think it just has potential to do funny shit. Imagine him opening closing a door and using the same amount of force he would have previously, and then it slamming really hard and him just going, whoopsies. I don't know. I'm so fucking tired. Why is it 1:30 a.m.? I need a fucking aspirin and a 3-day. So I got some clothes for my Will Solace cosplay because I'm cosplaying him for Calgary Expo. Now, I have everything I need. I got all of it today, except for the wig. So I put on the outfit to see, just make sure everything fits and the outfit is not the worst possible thing I could ever wear. And, I'm not binding. That will be a thing that I will be doing when I wear it at the con. Mainly because I only bind with tape, but also trans will rights. But not only do I look like I'm from Alberta, Canada, but I look like a girl kisser from Alberta, Canada. Which, I mean, while both of these things are true, is not an energy I ever wanted to put out. I look like I know how to drive a quad, which I do, but I never wanted to look it. You know, I went upstairs in these shorts, and my mom, my redneck mother who grew up on a farm, was like, "Where did you get those shorts? I love those shorts. I need those shorts." Which, as much as I love my mother, she not only is a redneck, but looks like a redneck. The most progressive redneck you'll ever meet. Probably one of the more progressive ones. But she did grow up on a farm in the Texas of Canada. And to make this even better, my stepdad, who grew up in Saskatchewan, who also grew up on a farm and is still actively a hunter, he took one look at these shorts and was like, "Those are mine." They're not. I had to sit there and be like, "Kirk, you're 6 feet tall and I'm 5 feet. There is no way in hell that these shorts would fit you if they fit me." And he's like, "They shrunk in the wash." He was convinced these were his. And after dinner, he brought out his shorts, and yes, we do in fact have matching shorts now. If there is one thing, as much as I like to say I am Will Salas, if there's one thing about me that is strictly not Will Salas, it is my fashion sense, because this is the worst outfit I have ever worn in my life, and I would never wear this outside of this fucking cosplay. He is, in fact, correct. These cargo shorts are very handy. These pockets are deeper than any pockets in any of my pants, except for my pants for my Bucky cosplay. But this is not the lesbian energy I'm trying to put out. And this is never the Canadian energy I want to put out in the world. I don't want anyone knowing that I'm from Alberta, Canada. I wish I wasn't from Alberta, Canada. But right now, I definitely look like I'm from here. Good news, I will definitely fit in Calgary. Listen, well, you're absolutely correct. Another thing I'd like to propose to you is, Ember, my OC, who is canonically an Albertan girl kisser, would also 100% fight Danielle Smith. I mean, me personally, I would fight Danielle Smith, so would Ember, and so would Min, but since I'm wearing an outfit that an Albertan girl kisser would probably wear, and my OC is in fact one, we're gonna talk about Ember. Anyway, literally the whole point of this video was to say, first of all, yes. Second of all, trans rights. Third of all, Ember would also fight Danielle Smith as an Albertan queer woman. And would also wear this outfit. At first she wouldn't, because she's a little too timid for that. But then she, moves to British Columbia for college and starts dating a non-conforming individual. So, she returns for the sole purpose of telling off Danielle Smith and Jason Kenney. And yes, this is also just me confirming once again that Min is a she-they, going through it with the gender crisis. So the main reason is because in the show, Walker, who plays Percy, is blonde and constantly wearing that green flannel. And when I'm at the con, I'm going to be cosplaying Solangelo. So my friend is going to be Nico. So I'm not about to have someone confuse this cosplay for us doing per Nico. Plus, the artist who drew, the official art for Will is, she did some
not great things, which I'm not gonna get into. But third of all, there's a specific fan art that I am actually referencing when I put together this fit, and I sent it to Jasper, who's cosplaying Nico with me, and it's this fan art that was made around when Tower of Nero came out, and it was the scene where they're like in the troglodyte's home, and Will is glowing and wearing the lampshade because the troglodytes love hats. This art, and that's the artist for you. I couldn't find it for a second, but I did find it. I did find out who the artist is. So yeah, this is the fit I'm referencing. As you see, I did add some personal touches, like the belt and my sun earrings. Jasper and I have been talking about me getting a lampshade and him getting a top hat. We might have to. And I'm also probably gonna... I have battery-powered string lights that I might just, like, wrap around me. Or have on hand for pictures. But we'll see. So yeah, that's why it's red. Listen, I've said it before. I'll say it a million times over. I love it when people recognize me in public. It's really, really cool when people recognize me and say hi to me, because it's like, wow, you like my silly little videos? That's so cool, because everything I post, I feel like everything I post is just really stupid. So the fact that there are 400,000 of you, or almost, that follow me on TikTok and want to see me often, and then, like, see me out in public and think it's worth, like, being like, hey, I recognize you because I like your content. That's super cool, okay? Y'all think it's cool to meet me in person? I think it's cool as hell to meet y'all in person. Like, you don't get it, okay? The only thing is, I'm terrible in social situations. Like, yes, I work in retail. Are social skills technically supposed part of my job description? Yes. But one, I feel bad customer servicing you when, like, I meet you guys in person. And two, I feel this sudden overwhelming pressure to be funny. Like, I don't know what it is, but, like, y'all recognize me in public and I'm, like, suddenly like, oh my god, I have to be the exact person you perceive me as on TikTok. And most of my content would probably be considered comedy, so I just start, like, throwing out as many jokes as I can possibly think of. A lot of them are self-deprecating too, and I feel like I'm always kind of aggressive when people, like, recognize me in public and actually are, like, about to have me, like, a conversation with me, you know? Like, the amount of times people have been like, I recognize you from TikTok, and I start laughing, like, Comet. Like, that is... I don't know what I would do if I recognized someone that I followed, like, on TikTok and, like, had been for a while, and was like, hey, I follow you on TikTok, I like your content, I recognize you from this platform, and they just started laughing. Like, I don't know what I would do, but that is what I do. Anyway, this is all to say that the people that recognized me at my job today, I don't fucking know what possessed me, but I'm sorry that I really stood there and was like, I'm a fool, and I'm still in training, so if you, like, fry your hair from my advice, no, you didn't. Like, Comet. Like, Jesus Christ, Comet. First of all, they said this is like a celebrity encounter, and I said, girl, I'm not a celebrity, be so for real right now. 400,000 followers is not that much. When I said that, I feel like I fucking dissociated and then just watched myself for a second. Like, genuinely, why did I start acting like I was meeting a celebrity? And for me to just be like, yeah, this is, the bleach I use and I love, and, you know, this is the options for developers you have there. Obviously, don't use anything above 20. What do you mean, obviously? You don't know? Get your shit together and stop talking to them like they're stupid. And then I had to stand there and wait for someone else to come rescue me when they ask me about toners, because I don't know anything about toners. Anyway, I'm gonna overthink that interaction, which is, again, so fucking funny, because I was the one getting recognized. I think that's just absolutely fucking hysterical, that I'm, like, really sitting here and I'm like, this is an interaction I'm gonna overthink for probably the next 6 years. And this was when someone recognized me in public. This wasn't a celebrity encounter wherein I was, like, meeting someone I looked up to or anything like that. This was someone else recognizing me from my platform on TikTok. Oh my god. Get a fucking grip, Comet. Anyway, this isn't me trying to discourage you guys from, like, talking to me in public, by the way. If you guys recognize me, again, I love it when you guys come up and talk to me and are like, hey, I recognize your videos, because, again, half the time I'm like, I post the stupidest shit ever. Why do people like this? But I will say, I'm awkward. I feel like every person who's recognized me from TikTok and talked to me, like, has experienced, like, I need people who have met me in person to, like, vouch in the comments. Comet is really awkward. Like, apparently I'm gonna say, like, don't cancel me if you fry your hair because of me. Like, what the fuck? Why would you say that? You haven't fried your hair in, like, 3 years. Why the fuck would your advice make someone else's hair be fried? What are you gonna do? So, yeah. One hand, really cool that people recognize me from TikTok. On the other hand, why the fuck can't I just talk to people like a normal person?